Daniel Grillo, Danny G, born and raised in Venezuela, came to St. John's almost 10 years ago, went to school for biochemistry, then chemistry, and then engineering, and finally decided to stick with computer science and business.
Yeah.
So you've gone through the whole gambit yourself.
It's been quite a journey, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So why computer science and business?
So I started with biochemistry and I liked it, but I felt like it wasn't 100% my thing, especially on like the biology side. I was like really, really into chemistry. So I said, you know what? Why don't I just focus fully on chemistry? And I did, and I really liked it, but I felt that there was a piece missing. Like, I don't really, till this day, I don't really know what was the piece that was missing, but I just had a gut feeling that it wasn't really going to be my thing in the long run. So I said, you know what, let me try engineering. Like, I was always good at math and like, just try it out, you know? My brother, like my older brother's an engineer, like really good engineer. So kind of had like that, I guess, like success story. He's done really good. So I was doing engineering and I'm like, this is still not clicking. And I looked through every single major that Mod offered. And I'm like, I don't know what to pursue. And I just don't want to be in a position where like, I'm going in, like, I don't know what direction I'm going. So I started analyzing like which majors I would be like suitable for. And I never knew anything computer related. Like never in my life, I had spent 1 second anything computer science related.
Really?
But I'm like, never. But I just knew that it was like really heavy into math. I didn't want to do like pure math. So you know what? Let's give it a try. And I knew nothing about computer science till probably like my second year. And I'm like, you know what? Like this is actually super interesting. Like I'm going to stick with this and fast forward a couple of years, like have a career where I use my degree like every day. And I would like to believe that I'm pretty successful at it. Like I love what I do and I wouldn't change a thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. From not being into computers to working with computers every day.
Yeah.
That's wild. A martial arts fan and a BJJ practitioner. You are an analytics software developer, a devoted uncle. You just visited them a few weeks back. Was that in Venezuela?
In Panama.
Oh, okay, in Panama.
Yeah, my sister and her husband and their kids live in Panama, and I had so long without seeing them that I said, you know what, I gotta pay you a visit, and I did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great boxers come from Panama.
They do.
Yeah.
I went to a few gyms when I was there, and you see like all the photos of these great boxers. And my oldest brother said that if I was gonna go there, I should train because some of the best boxers come from Panama. So I didn't train any boxing, but I did train jiu-jitsu there. So.
Did you train in anything else besides jiu-jitsu?
Like throughout my life?
Yeah.
Yes, I did Muay Thai a few years here at 𝐿𝐿 Muay Thai.
Okay.
And I loved it. It was amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So, which do you prefer?
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Hands down. Since I was a kid, I was fun to Jiu-Jitsu. But like nothing against Muay Thai. Like later on in my life, I would resume Muay Thai because I want to have my own MMA gym when I'm a little bit older. And I don't want to have, it's going to be primarily Jiu-Jitsu based, but I want to offer striking classes, and I'll be a fool if I don't practice striking for a few years before I decide to open my gym. So it's definitely in the to-do list. Let's call it that.
Gotcha. So are you thinking of like a full MMA gym?
I would like to offer full MMA, but primarily Jiu-Jitsu based. So Jiu-Jitsu based, and then offer striking classes and like a mix between them. But kind of like Tara does, that they offer like 9 classes a week for Jiu-Jitsu. I would like to offer like most classes Jiu-Jitsu. Obviously, like, this is not like, yeah, like next year I'm gonna do it. Like no, I need to gather a lot of experience before I do so. But in the future, I know it's meant to be. I'm gonna have my own gym.
That's cool.
Yeah.
When it comes to striking versus jiu-jitsu, like I found getting kicked and punched in the face really sucked. Like in jiu-jitsu, you can go 3 times a week. There's no black eyes. Like you get, your shoulder gets busted up, or like your hip, your foot, or ankle. So yeah, exactly. Do you still have an interest, obviously, in Muay Thai?
Yes, for sure. I do think I prefer Jiu-Jitsu over striking martial arts because it has that challenging side of it. Like it will be way harder to start with. Like you need to really, really want to do it because it's like you're either the nail or the hammer. Like for the beginning, you're going to be the nail and you're going to get like destroyed, and like it takes a lot for you to stick around. But when you stick around, I think it's more meaningful than in the striking classes. And I also think that you get, for lack of better words, you get put to the test immediately. Like in every class you go to, you're going to roll. That's pretty much like college sparring, but not in every striking class you have to do that. Like you have the option, for example, like I've trained at gyms where you spar once a week, but you have the choice of going. The other classes are mainly like technical sparring and stuff like that, so it's not as mentally challenging. But I do acknowledge that there's a higher risk of you getting injured in striking classes than jiu-jitsu. But as you can see, I'm like really into jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. I've talked about it to a couple people before, but if you like jujitsu, it's like it envelops you. Like for me, if I'm bored, I'll start to just watch like Craig Jones videos, or
Yeah.
I'm like, what's rubber guard about? You know, and I'll be in the bathroom for like a half an hour. People knocking on the door. So, do you have any family still in Venezuela?
Yes, I have my aunt, my oldest brother, my niece, and that's about it.
Okay. What was it like growing up there?
It was pretty fun. I want to use the right words to paint the full picture. It was always beautiful, man. Beautiful landscapes. Like we had great weather, and like people was like really, really nice. Same as here, like people are incredible here, and it's a big city, so there's always something on the go. But my life there was always very family oriented, like multiple times a week, like meeting with the family, like meeting with my grandparents, my sister. Like I have an older sister that like lived there and stuff like that, and you know, went to high school there. Really liked it. I have really close friends from high school, and just really good. I do feel like when I came to Canada, it's kind of like I was unleashed, because back home my parents were like really strict on, okay, obviously like for obvious reasons, like it's we've been like the murder capital of the world for multiple years, so my parents were really like, okay, no, you have to stay home and stuff. And I came here, I said, you know what, I'm free. But I'm super grateful that was the case, because I learned a lot. Yeah.
So, growing up in the murder capital of the world, like, what's that like? I guess you were a kid, but there must have been some stress.
Well, actually, countless of times people try to rob me and stuff like that. I'm not saying like, okay, I guess like it's a dangerous country, but I experienced situations like that a handful of times. Like the remaining of my days there were nothing but beautiful. But you do have to be aware that you have to watch out a little bit for your surroundings if you're in certain areas or like certain times during the day, or like whether you're alone or not. And my parents did a fantastic job, which I obviously like growing up, I probably didn't like fully get them. Say, why can't I go to this place? Or oh, I want to go here. Why can't I? But later on, like as you grow up, you understand that they were doing the best for me. They were just trying to take care of me. And yeah, but I guess I always like kind of like watch my back, because you know, like it's like I was there for 17 years, and like you always have like that mentality that like, hey, you just gotta be careful with your surroundings and stuff. Even though like, thank God, like nothing bad happened to me. So yeah.
So, how old were you when you left?
17 years old.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So you got to really grow up there.
Yeah.
I guess you get like a hyper vigilance where you kind of are kind of scanning.
Yeah.
Did that stick with you when you came
Yes.
to Canada?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, one of my friends makes fun of me all the time. It's like, you think you see everything around you. It's like, no, it's not like I have a superpower, but like I blink and I know exactly everything around me. But I do have like that feeling that I always have to like kind of like watch out for my surroundings, even though like I know I'm perfectly safe here. But I just like 17 years I developed that. It's like it stays with you, you know. It's like look around, like if you see anything like suspicious and stuff, even though like nothing's going to happen, but it's, I guess like it's like a chip in my head.
Well, you grew up in it. You were raised that way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like veterans and police officers that, you know, some of them are only on a tour or two, and obviously what they see is horrific, and they can't really shake it. You know, they're checking out the window if someone's mowing their lawn. And
yeah, you remember things like that. Like I had 3 really close encounters to like, let's call it the bad guys, and yeah, I live to tell the tale, you know. So happy to say that's the case.
Like what kind of things?
Well, the craziest one was my oldest brother moved to like a different state or like a different city back home, and we went to visit him. And I was inside. I had this super. I always been a person that has like gut feelings, and I was inside his apartment with like my mom and him, and my two brothers older than me were playing basketball outside. It's like a building complex, but like you're still within the buildings and stuff. But there's like a wall, and then you go to the street. And my two brothers come back to the apartment, and they are like, "Hey, like we lost the ball. Um, it's on the street. We're just gonna go get it." And I said, "Okay, like I'm gonna go with you guys." But I just had this super strong feeling that I just had to leave everything behind. So I had nothing. Like I didn't have my phone, I didn't have my wallet, I didn't have. I was just stressed. That's it. So we all go outside, and we're all like, it's like a normal street. It's like the street and like two sidewalks. We're all on the same side of the sidewalk, and my brother, he's like, "I'm gonna go check the other side of the sidewalk," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll go with you." He said, "No, no, no, you stay, you stay." So it's myself, one of my brothers, and the other one on the other side of the street, and then out of nowhere, we see a few lights at the back, and then those lights shut off. It was super strange, and then 3 motorcycles come in, like guys with guns, and just put my brother against the wall, rob everything from him. And like, I don't wish bad to nobody, but it was a really good thing. It was him and not me, because like, he had money, he has his wallet, he has his phone, so they were happy. So we took this, we're happy, we go. If it was me, like I wouldn't be here telling this story. You know,
That's crazy.
I'm shaking right now just thinking about that. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I wonder what that stuff, if it's like a primal survival instinct, where you're like, okay, like you get that, man, that's wild.
I remember vividly, like my older brother and I, we just looked at each other, we ran, we hid behind like this big rock, and I just remember looking at my brother, he was in the wall like this. I was like, oh God, like, yeah. But I mean, we all lived to tell the tale. Like, luckily he had like material stuff that they took, and they were happy with it, and yeah, it ended there.
Man.
Yeah.
Guns drawn?
Yep. Yep.
Man, wow.
And it's like, to this day, I don't understand how you fit so many people in a motorcycle, because it was like 9 of them, 3 motorcycles. Like, are you like this in the motorcycle? Oh,
like
man.
clown cars.
Yes,
pulling
like,
up.
oh.
Jeez, man. Do your brothers live here too?
My older brother, yes. I'm the youngest one of, we're 5.
Oh, wow.
And my brother came a year before me to St. John's, and he said great things about it. So, you know what, like, let's go check it out. Because I was going to go study pharmacology in Netherlands, and my brother spoke so great about St. John's. I was like, he's onto something, you know? Fast forward like almost 10 years, I'm still here, and I'm loving every single day of it. So.
That's awesome, man. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
What was the transition like from 17 years old to moving to a completely different country?
Well, I guess like I've always been like super extroverted, and luckily my brother was here, because like, he kept me grounded. I was like, as he said, like back home, especially my parents, I guess now that I think about it, it's a personality thing that they restricted me from doing more things than they did with my brother. And I came here, I said, you know what, I'm free. Like, I don't have to worry about like being out at night or going to this place or this, that. And I was like a pretty wild kid. So my brother was here to like help me out. He said, hey, listen, like, you need to like, you know, like calm down and stuff like that. And I'm super grateful for him doing that. Like, I learned a lot through him. Like, he protected me like a good older brother. Like, he taught me a lot of things, and things that I can just tell him like nowadays. Like, you know what, like, super grateful that you were here. If I went to, let's say, like Netherlands, that I was gonna go, like, I probably would have done a lot of like stupid stuff. And like he kind of like paved the way for me, and like made sure that I was safe and everything. And to this day, super grateful for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How much older is he?
1 year, 3 months, 11 days, and we're both born at 11 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your whole family is pretty tight, it sounds like.
Yes, we're super family oriented. Yes.
What keeps the family tight?
I mean, like, my mom always like raised us to be like very family oriented. My mom always says that she doesn't have any siblings, so she always wanted to have a lot of kids so we could like grow strong. So it's 5 of us, and like there's a huge age difference. Aside from my brother and I think the one after my brother is probably like 13 years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of age gaps, but something that like sticks with us is like we're very family oriented. And I don't mean to pump my own tires, but I think I'm the most family oriented out of them all. I'm always like the one calling them, and like I try to visit them the most and just like check up on them the most. Like, my family means everything to me.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. It's huge because I think the unit, just from talking to different people, it's like having, if you have like a core unit that you can go back to, it's there's a security there, so it's less chances you're going to fuck up.
Yeah.
You know. Awesome. Before we move on to Canada, what's the climate like in Venezuela now?
It's roughly between like 26 to like 32 degrees Celsius.
Oh, sorry. I mean what's life like there now?
Honestly, I haven't been there in so long that, and I know so many things have changed. What I do know is like now everything's like US dollar based. It's like before that we had like our own currency, but with the inflation being up the roof, like let's say you buy a water bottle, I'm just putting this like an example, and you buy a water bottle yesterday for like 10 of our currency, and today it'll be like 12, and then the day after it'll be like 15. So you cannot manage with that inflation. So since I left, everything is US dollar based. But I think lifestyle wise, like what's the expression? It's like, I don't even know the expression. It's like you'll find a way. Like things are tough, of course, but like when there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
I do think about it so much, about going back just for a visit. You know, like I've had so many dreams that I'm there, and my mom doesn't want me to go, but I really want to go. Yeah, it's calling my name. Yeah.
Where's Mama Grillo now?
She's in Panama. She's mostly in Panama with like my sister, but she was in Spain for a little bit, and she was here last year for like a month and a half, and I'm trying to push to like bring her here for like a couple months, and then she's in Spain for a couple months and Panama a couple months, because I got a brother in Spain, so she's with him, and then my sister lives in Panama, so she's with her, and then I'm here so she can be with me. It's like I just want to have my mom close, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. You guys are so close.
Yeah.
So you moved to Canada, you and your brother. How old were you when you started university?
17.
Okay.
17, yeah. I turned 18.
Young, man. That's young.
Yeah. I turned 18 shortly after, but I guess like my first few classes I was 17, and then I turned 18 like a couple weeks after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of figure out what you're going to do. I'd imagine you're partying and meeting a lot of girls during that time.
I don't know about that.
I mean, definitely not. But
Yeah.
So when did you start martial arts?
So I did martial arts back home. I did karate like growing up. I think many kids do karate growing up. But I did jiu-jitsu as well for a few months. And my dad removed me from jiu-jitsu. Until this day, I told my dad, I said, man, like, if I stayed at jiu-jitsu, like, if you didn't remove me, I was so young, like, that's your key to financial freedom. I'll be a world champion by now. Like, I'll be training so hard. But he removed me because it was dangerous, and like the gym I used to go was like a dark alley and stuff. I didn't understand at the time. But that's my first introduction to martial arts. And since that day, I'm like, I know I need to resume doing this. And I actually don't know what took me so long. Like I started again at Terra June 21st, 2023. I could have done it like 2016 when I came here, but
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm not going to look back. I can just look forward. And now I know this is my thing, and I'm going to stick with it for the rest of my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you graduate from university?
May 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, so it took me longer than the average person, but as I said, I switched majors so many times that it delays the process a little bit, but I learned a lot through my university life that I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you find there's a difference in the culture in Canada over the last 10 years since you got here when you were 17 till now?
I want to really take my time to think about this.
Oh, absolutely. Take your time.
Because the main thing that comes to my head is nothing has changed in the sense of how people treat each other.
Mm-hmm.
They are like, a lot of people say, yeah, like people in Newfoundland are so nice. And like, it's one thing saying it, another thing experiencing it. And I have never had a bad encounter or a bad situation or with anyone here. Like everyone's so friendly, so nice that it really, I guess it makes living back home and coming here easier because you're used to people being super nice to you back home, and you come here and you say, hey, like it's like nothing happened. Like people treat me like I'm brothers with them, you know? So yeah, people are always, I have a lot of friends from Newfoundland, specifically from Grand Falls, and it's like I grew up with them, you know? I'm like one of their brothers and they're one of my brothers.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Why Grand Falls?
Well, like I went to Mon and like my first friends here were from Grand Falls. So I mean, I'm not saying I only have friends from Grand Falls. I got friends
Yeah.
from a lot of places, but
Hmm.
primarily from Grand Falls when they're from Newfoundland, and they've been nothing but great. Like
Yeah.
super grateful, and um, I kept their friendship with them, not just a friendship, like a close friendship with them for like almost 10 years, and we have so many memories. Like we joke around, we send each other like videos of like, oh, you did this like 7 years ago, and just laugh like so many years later. It's beautiful.
You were at a kickboxing gym here too.
Yes.
Okay. How long did you do that for?
I did it for close to 3 years. Yeah. The main reason why I stopped was because I was starting my professional life. I stopped a little bit before I got my job at Verafin, and I wanted to fully dedicate 110% of my time to just solidify my contribution at the company. But I had an amazing time there. People are super, super nice. The coaching there was incredible. I must say, and this is not a knock on the gym or the people that train there. Um, I think, as I mentioned earlier, that in jiu-jitsu is a little bit harder to stick around because you, to put it in simple terms, you have to suffer to like really like, to enjoy it later. And I feel like that creates a stronger bond between people. So I have a way better connection with my jiu-jitsu friends that I have with my Muay Thai friends. But that doesn't mean that I don't have friends from Muay Thai. I have lots of friends from there, and I have a great relationship with my coach. Like we message each other every now and then. He always tells me, he's like, hey, like the door's open if you want to come back. And I would definitely take him up on that because I really want to come back. I miss being coached by him.
Oh,
Super
awesome.
nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're obviously a nice guy.
Thank you.
Do you find there's a misconception with martial arts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. Like, I wish I could just like have a chip and put it in someone's head to understand that there's a huge misconception between you practice martial arts, by default you're a violent person and like this, that. I actually think it's quite the opposite because especially if you're like a dedicated martial artist where like you don't just like practice it, but like you listen to fighters and like martial artists and you watch martial arts, I think it makes you a better person. But to touch on like the peaceful side or like the aggression side, I think it makes you a way more peaceful person because you understand a few things. The first one, what you can do to people with these skills and what they can do to you. So like peace is the best offense. Like just yeah. And a second thing is, man, I was gonna say two things. I forgot one.
No
Oh
worries.
man.
It'll come to you.
Yes, I hope that's like I'm super super passionate about that debate where like some people have that misconception. I actually think people should really practice martial arts to better understand that that's not the case. It actually I think it makes you a more beautiful person.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
find that when people don't train and they have aggression that they don't know where to put, it makes them a very anxious, angry person. But if you're training and you're putting in the reps, especially in jiu-jitsu where you can just roll with somebody,
Yeah.
and even if they kick your ass, like it's a cathartic feeling, you know,
Yeah.
you can kind of get it out. And the people that are the strongest and the best are always the calmest, like the easiest to talk to, you know. I find even a difference between strikers and grapplers. Like grapplers seem to be a lot more calm, a bit. I might be talking out of my ass, but
No, I agree with you.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I find that strikers are a bit more intense, you know. But no, I agree. I tell everyone, I'm like, you should do jujitsu, you know, or your kids, especially if you have a daughter,
Yeah.
put them in jujitsu, you know.
It builds teamwork, it builds discipline, it builds so many good habits, and it perfectly translates to your life. Like for example, like let's say, and I'm speaking right now solely on a professional standpoint. When things at work are tough, yes, they're tough, but have you been to like one of those practices where like someone just puts a lot of pressure on you and stuff? You went past that, like it was, you know, like yes, you had a hard time there, but you survived and
Yeah.
you lived to tell the tale, and you learned a lot from it. So like hardships become less hardships and more manageable after you experience stuff like that. through
Well
martial
said.
arts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the struggle, you know, and if you can get past, I mean, you do a 6 a.m. class and you fight for your life with 4 or 5 guys, especially like some of the beasts we got at the club. It's
Yeah.
like life is easy after that, you know. Like, what's someone going to do? Like, piss you off at work. It's like there's none of that.
Yeah,
You know, it's, come home and I'm in such a great mood. It's like therapy.
I've heard a lot of like stories of people, like mostly like I haven't experienced it. I was like, I know this person that I train with that. No, but like I've heard a lot of like through podcasts or through videos or through like people tell their stories that they had like anger issues and then they start training martial arts, specifically jiu-jitsu, and they're like, nah.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh man, it's I have over the years dealt with a lot of anxiety, and the only cure for it, in my opinion, is like strenuous activity. Like you got to run your guts out. You got to do shit that's super uncomfortable. You got to go to jujitsu and get strangled by a fucking 300-pound man. You know, but it's like, and after you do that shit, like it's all gravy. It's so good for your brain to like struggle. You know, I often wonder if it's like a primitive need to struggle that we're missing, because like so many people, it's all comforts. You know what I mean? You can eat whatever you want whenever you want. You can sleep easily on a really comfy bed, pick up your phone. You can look at a million pictures of tits. You know, it's just like, it's just so, everything's so easy. It's at your fingertips, everything. You want a dog, it's fine. You buy their food in a bag, you know, it's like, but before, I mean, even in my grandfather's time, like, actually my father had to quit school to help my grandfather fish, you know what I mean? So he spent all day out in a boat, and sometimes if they didn't have gloves, they just dip their hands in the water to get them a temperature. You know, it's like you kind of need that in some facet, you know.
I think like some people, and like again, like as you can see through our conversation, I'm extremely biased towards martial arts, the benefits of martial arts and what a martial artist means. But a lot of people think that, oh, like this is super satisfaction. Like I'm going to do this, that, this, that. Yes, like there's so many things outside of martial arts that bring joy to yourself, but there's like a type of like dopamine release and like happiness and just great energy that brings out just finishing your martial arts practice, whether you did amazing or you got destroyed. And it's, you know what, like this is such a great feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anything else give you that feeling?
My niece and my nephew and martial arts.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are they?
They just turned 9 and 14. And I went there back home for their birthdays. I surprised them. I told my niece like many months ago that I was going to go visit her for her birthday. And then she's like, no, you're lying to me. You're not going to. And I told her, like, I'm a man of my word. I told you I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it. And I surprised them both. Like they were speechless. Like, I went to pick them up at school. They're like, what? You're here? Oh my God. Yeah, it was priceless. It's just, they'll remember, and I'll remember forever, you know? So that's where it comes in, like being a family-oriented person. I'll give my life for both of them. Like anyone that asks me, my answer will always be like my two favorite people in this world is both of them.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And they're in Panama?
They are in Panama, yes.
What are they doing? Are they in martial arts yet?
Well, no. My nephew, I think many kids just grow up, do a little bit of karate, so he did a little bit of karate. But he actually plays basketball, and he's a really, really good basketball player.
Oh, okay.
Like he's like really good. He's super tall. Yeah. So everybody asks me, he's like, "You play basketball because you're tall?" I was like, "Never played basketball." My older brother did, and he's shorter than me. But my nephew, like, he plays basketball, and like he plays really good basketball. And my niece, she does gymnastics and stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Moving over to work, did you start in the current company? We won't get into specifics, but
yes. As of like my first, I did like a few like mentorships or internships. Sorry, not mentorships. Like internships or like student internships, like unpaid and stuff. But my first professional job has been Verafin, and I'm super, super happy. Like, especially like in St. John's, so many people speak greatly about them, and it's hard to get there. But luckily, I worked really hard to really join the company, and I did. And they have been nothing but loyal to me, great. And like mainly the aspect of learning, like I'm super grateful till this day. Like they took me under their wing, just fresh out of university, and they took care of me learning all the things that I've learned today and made me a way better professional. And anybody that asks me, say, you know what, like I think I made the right choice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because this is a mental health podcasts. One thing that I have to ask is, I mean, it seems like the Western world, so many people have like anxiety and depression, and you can see people in a terrible way, and people take time off for mental issues. In Venezuela, is it similar? I know you left a long time ago, but
From my experience, no.
okay.
And I think because I don't know if using the word extroverted is like really the right word to use, but the culture is like you communicate a lot, and like whether something's bothering you or you're happy with something, like you will communicate a lot with like either like a lot of people that are super religious, super family oriented, and like my best friend growing up since I was in grade 2, like it's my best friend till today, and it's just like that culture of like speak out. Like if anything bothers me, like I just call him, send him a message, and like I've always been like that, and people back home are like that. So not saying that there's no, I guess, struggles, but just the simple action of what's in your mind, you speak it out, you get it out of your mind immediately. I think it helps a lot, um, and it's. I think a lot of the issues, there's different types of issues, but one of the biggest issues, in my opinion, is the buildup. Like something's bothering you and you're quiet, and like it slowly becomes like that snowball effect where like it bothers you more and more and more, and you don't feel capable of speaking with someone. That's when things get tough. That's when things get tough, and you build a monster inside of you. I'm a firm believer that the moment something's not right, or the moment you think something's been bothering you for some time, speak it out. Like there's definitely someone that is willing to listen to you, and someone that cares for you. So like, I actually had a situation like that with one of my best friends here. He called me one night after training and just spoke to me for like 2 hours. And I mean, like, he said that he's super grateful that I took the call. I said, no, I'm grateful that you called me, because get that off your chest. Just get that off your chest. And like, I went for a beer, this was a couple months ago, and I went for a beer with him yesterday. And he said, man, you have no idea like the impact he had, that conversation we had. I just had to get it off my chest. And that's one of the, like, one piece of advice I give people is like, something's bothering you, get it off your chest. Like, it's better to get it out, talk to someone, and just like express your emotions, just let it out, you know?
Yeah, that's super insightful.
Yeah.
I find, especially, guys, I think it's easier for women because they talk about their emotions all the time. But
Yeah.
for guys, it's like you don't want to be a pussy and you don't want to burden people with your shit. So it's easy to keep it all inside, and a lot of dudes end up becoming alcoholics.
Yeah.
Like I find that a bunch of friends that I had, we all partied in university, but they kind of partied at home for a different reason,
Yeah.
and it became a problem that they had to take care of. But that makes a lot of sense. Just communicating and having a tight family definitely would help that.
It goes a long way. It goes a long way. And like a lot of times, like people have been like, man, like you share this, that, this, that. I say, man, like I just get it off my chest, And like if there's one piece of advice I can give, it's just like let it out, like just identify who's your close circle. And if they are indeed your close circle, like they will listen to you. Just maybe you had like some issues at home or like with work or like with a lady you're seeing or something like that. Speak it out. Like it's way worse when you keep it inside of you and like let it build up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I actually had a friend who was in Afghanistan and like seen some crazy shit. He had some horrific stuff happen to him. He was pretty injured, and he said nothing, And then like when you get drunk, he'd like freak out, and he just didn't know how to communicate it. So luckily now he's good. He's like the most chill dude you ever met. Complete pothead, like just out in the woods with his dog,
Nice.
Loving life. But no, man, it's true. It's the faster you start telling people how you feel, and I think too you start to realize like who your buddies are, who your real friends are, who's close to you. Because a lot of times, especially as you get older, there's a lot of good time friends and friends that you call on the weekends, and you guys, and then there's friends that you can actually sit down and have a good chat with.
I
Super
think
important.
I think as well, like a lot of people are fixated that someone don't want to listen to you because like that's the problem you have. They don't have it. Like you'll be surprised that many people actually share the same problem, you know?
Yeah.
And like the fact that you bring it up kind of gives them an opening to also bring up like what they're stressed about. And it's just like it could be like you having that moment with someone could be a bonding moment, could be a relief moment, and you could help two people, you know? So
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
am super, super, super strong into whatever you're thinking. It's bothering you, talk to someone.
Yeah.
Done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I find too, like if I talk to my wife about something, it's different. Like it's almost like they're comforting you in a way that it's great. But like when you talk to like a friend, like a guy, they can have a different kind of chat with you.
Yeah.
Like I kind of like when they cut through the bullshit and they're like, it's obvious this
Yeah.
is the issue. You know what I mean? It's like they can really get to the heart of an issue. And I definitely think you're right. A lot more dudes need to have close friends that they can comfortably do that stuff with.
Yeah. And you also that like there's different types of friends and like I'm a firm believer like don't just talk. Obviously, like you may have like a go-to person and you talk to that person helps you out, but talk to like multiple people because for example, like sometimes I'm stressed about something martial arts related. Like let's say, man, I feel like I haven't progressed in jiu-jitsu in like so long. And I have like a designated friend that I talk to him about like my jiu-jitsu journey. He's also like in jiu-jitsu. Like he's not in St. John's, he lives in Nova Scotia, but I talk to him about that. I have another friend who I see quite regularly, especially during the weekends that we have like our morning coffee routine. He's like the most straightforward person. So you tell him something, 2-3 words, and he cuts the bullshit. Like, do this, and like, it's different personalities deal with problems differently, but like they all have a positive impact into your mental health. You know, it's for example, like I do something, and like I guess I really haven't breaking it down to my friend, but I have at least once or twice. I actually did this morning coffee with one of my friends, 8 a.m. on the dot. We are at Postmaster's Bakery grabbing our coffee. And like to him, it may be like, yeah, we just grab our coffee going to work. For me, it's like, this is my sacred moment. I chat with you. I start my day with such a high note. The rest of the day is just going to be amazing. You started it off in a great way. I guess it goes, I'm not a morning person for jiu-jitsu. I'm a morning person, not for jiu-jitsu, but you could, please tell me if you relate or you don't. Like you start jiu-jitsu at 6 a.m., you got that off your plate and you feel great. It's like, man, like, I just finished a 6 a.m. class. Like, this is amazing. The rest of your day just becomes way easier, you know?
Absolutely.
I actually think that's also like, and I really, before talking to you, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. Start your day with a bang. Your day with a bang.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole day's gravy after that. I come home, I'm in such a good mood. It's funny, like when I'm in a good mood, I get like super hyper. So after class on April Fool's, my oldest was asleep. So I went into his room and I took his TV out and his Xbox and his laptop and his phone. I took everything out and I hid it. And I woke him up and I was like, buddy, we've been robbed. They took everything.
No way.
They took our phones. They took the TVs. And he got up and he was like, devastated. Yeah. I was like, April Fool's. He was like, you're really mean. Yeah.
That's quite creative. Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
My wife was like, he's going to need therapy when he's older. I'm like, maybe. It's for the right reasons. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So how do you stay so positive?
Man,
you're always like shining. It seems like you're always in a great mood.
I don't mean to like pump my own tires, but I do hear that quite often, and I'm super grateful of that. There's so many beautiful things in life that like, why let something, there's like a saying, like, I don't know like the actual quantitative number of it, but it's like, if you have like $80,000 in your wallet and someone steals $1, are you gonna be pissed? You're not gonna be pissed. So if you have so many hours in a day, so many days in a week, so many whatever, are you really gonna be pissed if something like small happens to you and you're gonna like let it like dictate the rest of your week, whatever? No, it's like, yes, like part of life is you're going to encounter things that are gonna make you uncomfortable. You're going to face things that are going to piss you off, but that's just like a drop in the sea. Like there's so many things. Like, and I can sit here for decades, not even hours, decades, on like all the beautiful things in life, all the positive things. Like it's being grateful for what you have. Like that is enough motivation for you to be happy. And there's I don't remember the expression itself, but like at work, when I first joined work, there's like a self-development club where like they assign you like some books and you read them and stuff, and like it positively impacts like your work performance. And they mentioned this thing. I actually also saw this in like a psychology class in school. It's like your impact on others spreads. So like let's say I'm having a chat with you in a positive way, like energetic way. Chances are you're going to gather that energy and then you're gonna have a chat with someone else and like have similar energy, and it just spreads, you know? So if you have the chance of just being happy and just say something positive to someone, just go ahead and do it. Like you never know like the true impact of your words. Like you can be like, man, you know what? Like you almost got me with this submission, or like, man, like when you sweep. I'm this right now is like a jiu-jitsu example. It's like this sweep you hit on me, like it was so good. I've been told that before, like times, and like I spent like a week. I was like, man, like he said that. That's sick. Like, or at work, like let's say I have to write some queries and stuff to like pull some data. And then someone's like, man, like I really like the data pull you did. Like it's super insightful. Like we communicated this to the customers. Like, thank you. Or like even like this week, like I had to do some work for a customer, and they're like, yeah, we're super happy with the findings you shared. Like it really decreased the time it took for our institution to like really understand what's happening. I was like, thank you. So like the same way I like to project to people, they've done it to me, and I'm super aware of the impact it has on me. So if I know how much it benefits me, why don't I do it to others? You know, it's like a compliment a day keeps the doctor away. So that's it.
Man,
Yeah.
that's really insightful. Wow.
Thank you.
So what do you have like I can tell this happens organically for you.
Thank you.
Do you have like a go-to if something negative happens, or if you're having like going through something dark?
I don't have like a set go-to person. Um, I have enough people in my life that I can go to, and I know that they'll take their time to like listen to me and stuff. But most of the things that like bother me, I channel them out myself, because it's just like there's so many good things around. I'm not gonna let something bad like dictate like how I'm feeling. But there's definitely like situations where like it's something like big, something like out of the ordinary that like life throws your way, and it's I'm very confident that I can overcome this because I have a great circle. And it depends. It's a case by case basis. But for example, like my best friend lives in Nova Scotia, and like that's a little bit tough. But having a chat with him like once a week, once every 2 weeks, like this is just like an example. It really makes my month. Like I have a great month, man. Like I had such a good chat with him, this, that, and like small actions like that. And you also need people that care about you, because if someone cares about you, like they'll make sure like they put you like in the right path. Sometimes like you have like a toxic thought, or like you're just not doing something right, and if someone cares about you, say, hey man, listen, like I've noticed this thing, like as your close friend, like let's work through this together. Or like, man, like maybe like do this and that. And like it goes a long way, you know, just caring about someone and making sure you want to see them do good. It has a huge impact.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I noticed a while ago that if I went to I was in a pretty small office, and when I would come in and I'd bring coffees for people, like they'd be in a good mood all day. You
Yeah,
know?
it's a nice gesture, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the simple things. But it's funny, I think that it's easy for people to get in their own head. Do you think coming from Venezuela put you in that mindset? Because like I find, I'm sure there's people in the Western world that share your mindset, but it seems like it's not even something you learned. It was like something you were built with.
I think coming from Venezuela definitely helped, because people are super outgoing, and there's like a sense of family, not just like directly like blood related, but like, for example, my mom, she grew up with her friends, and like they're like my aunts. So there's I guess it's, let me try to like organize my thoughts.
Oh, take your time.
I don't think it's directly related with Venezuela. It did help me a little bit like growing up and stuff, but I really, really think it's a personality thing. Like, I'm not sure who I got it from, if I got it from someone or like if I developed it over time, but it's just like having that mindset that so many things to be happy for, so many things to stay positive. Don't let the lesser things like really bother you. And also being aware that your actions have a huge impact on others. Make sure that your impact is positive. It's always like, it's not like I say that over and over again. It's just like kind of like a second nature to me. But I do acknowledge that it has a good impact on people. So why stop doing that? Yeah.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Do your siblings feel that way too? Are they similar?
They all got different personalities, and they all express themselves differently. But I don't think they're like the same type as me, but they manage it or they channel it in a different way. Maybe they're not as vocal as me. I've always been a super vocal person, but they go like along like the same way.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Excuse me. I hate to bring up politics, but
Go ahead.
it's pertinent, or at least it relates to what we're talking about. I noticed that during this election cycle, it seemed like tensions were really high, and did you feel that at all, or was it something that didn't bother you?
I felt like a lot of people were clashing. You mean the election cycle here that just happened in
Just
Canada, right?
happened, yeah.
Yes, yes. I felt like a lot of people were like clashing, and a lot of negative vibes or negative comments happening, especially like, let's say like someone posts something about like a specific party, and you go through the comments like, you're an idiot because this person, this, that. At the end of the day, like, everybody has their pros and cons, but also everybody has their right to think this way or another way, be opinionated. So you're really, really, which is this a super negative thing, you're really crossing the line or crossing boundaries where you feel like you have the authority to dictate what another person has to do. It's like, what if I want to vote for this person? Like, I have my XYZ reasons and you have yours. Like, we may have a discussion about it, we may have a chat about it, but at the end of the day, like, I have to respect that that's what you think, and that's okay. We can more than happily talk about it, but it really goes down the hill when you project negativity and disrespect, and especially with like social media where it's so easy to just send a message and like you send it from away, like you're not even like seeing someone and stuff. It's just way easier for you to send negativity to someone. But that's something that I was actually talking about this with one of my friends. It's like the amount of just disrespect of like, yeah, I support this person. It's like, listen, like it's my choice for a reason, right? Like, I made sure to do my due diligence to do this. The disrespect, you can save it. Like, if you really have a comment that you want to make to me, go ahead and make it. Like, we can have a chat. I can explain my reasons why this, and like you can explain your reasons, and we can become more knowledgeable about the subject, but without disrespect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you avoid so it doesn't kind of put you in a negative headspace? Not even to do with politics, but just in general. Is there
I avoid
anything?
negativity in general. Negative vibes in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like as I said, like it's easier for me to focus on the good. But also, if I'm aware that there's something bad, like, why am I gonna let it come in? Say you're bad, go that way. That's
yeah.
it. Yeah, it's just like being able to be your own filter. It's you can see the type of energy like someone may project, or the type of energy certain type of media projects to you, and if it doesn't align with what you want to do or what you want to be, if it doesn't bring any type of positivity in your life, then let it go. Like, it's plain and simple. If it's not good for you, you don't need it. That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you find that you have an empathy for people that excuse me, I was getting over a cold. I think I mentioned that. Do you find you have an empathy for people that are kind of negative, or is it better just to like be like, all right, I'm good? I know that's a strange question, but
It's strange. I'm a firm believer that everybody has good in themselves. So like if they are like a, let's call it like natural born or like whatever negative person, it's because they really haven't seen the full picture. Like you can explain to them, it's like, I'm just going to give an example, like I'm made of fictitious examples. Like, yeah, man, like my life sucks because this, that. Have you thought about all the good things that you have and all the things that you should be happy for and grateful for? Like I can probably list twice as many as the things you're concerned about. Obviously, like this is not me trying to disregard like hardships or like tough situations. Like that happens in life. But I'm a firm believer you fix issues not necessarily faster, but in a better way if you just approach them with a positive mindset. It's like, yes, you may be going through like a really tough time, and like I hope that's never the case for anybody. But if you decide to approach those hard times with a negative attitude, it's gonna be way harder for you to like overcome that. And if you try to approach it with a positive attitude, chances are that it's gonna be way easier for you. Like I remember my mom said that like back home she had a boss, like her favorite boss, and she said that she used to go to work with a smile, just like this, a smile, driving to work. And I used to see like people smiling at her because she was smiling and stuff. And like, I guess a little bit like detour. Last summer, I went to pick up one of my buddies that lives like by the mall to grab a beer. And we just started playing music and stuff. We're like, oh, like dancing in the car, super hyped up. And I looked to my left, the people in the car next to me were like dancing and stuff. So, you know, like your energy, like it's contagious.
Absolutely.
So why not just like spread good stuff?
Yeah, I feel like too. One of my friends comes with me with a problem. They're usually real problems, you know, and I'll listen and help them the best I can. But I find there are people out there that kind of like revel in being, I'll say, a victim of life kind of thing, and they don't want help. They just want to be there, you know. And it's so weird when you meet someone like that, because it feels good when you accomplish things and you move up. But there are some people, I don't know if that's what they're talking about with energy vampires, but I was in a chat group forever, and it was called the Snake Pit. We just go in there and rag on each other, you know, and it was funny. But there was one guy in it that, like, we'd all meet up for dinner sometimes, and he would just complain about his life. So he was sitting next to me, and he was talking about, you know, how shitty his work situation is. I was like, why don't you go back to school? And he's like, well, you know, then I got to give up 4 years. It's like, yeah, well, everyone has to give up 4 years.
Yeah.
It's like, and then basically he had an answer for everything I said, you know, and then I realized, I was like, you want to be miserable. It's who you are. So in that situation, I couldn't sit there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I started getting more martinis at that point. I was like, does anyone else want to sit here? But yeah, it's, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a comfort for people, if they feel like there's something that they can blame where they are in life on, instead of having to struggle to move forward.
It's easier to blame it on something. I'm like, not saying that, how can I say? Like, I guess it's easier to blame it on something versus like taking action on something. Like, it's way easier for you to be like, no, like, I'm like this because X, Y, Z. How about you say, I was like this, but I did this, and that to overcome that. But I do get what you're saying. Like, so that is tough. And I think the first step before you trying to reach out to someone or before you try to take action is realizing yourself that, hey, I need to get out of this.
Yeah.
I need to find a way. And once you have that mindset that, okay, like, I'm not where I want to be, or like I'm struggling with this and I don't want to be struggling with this. Once you acknowledge that and you're willing to take action, then like things just fall into place. Like, you look for resources, you look for coping mechanisms, you look for things that like you really enjoy doing. And then like after that, it's like you're building a stair to get out of like the dark hole you're in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I found that so when we had our second uh, boy, excuse me, he only slept for 4 hours a night for like 2 years. So I was just always exhausted and crazy. Like
Yeah.
all my emails that I would send out would just be like, no, you know, or yes. But one of the steps in the front was when you stepped on it, would creak down, and it stressed me out for like 2 months. And I'd be like, I got to fix that fucking step. But it became this giant issue to me, you know, because I let it build and build and build. And then I went out and it took 20 minutes and it was fixed. But like for me, it was like, there was no way to fix it. I was so tired and all these things. But if I just took the 20 minutes, it was off my plate. You know, I never had to think about it again. It's, yeah.
You took action.
But yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I think that some people, it becomes insurmountable. They haven't done the little things to fix the issues, and now it's a huge fucking problem. Even though you just got to put a little time in, and it's gone, and you can be free.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert on the matter. Like, I share what has worked with me and what I think I share with others that have worked. But I do know sometimes it's just hard to get that ball rolling.
Yeah.
Like, once you get that ball rolling, yes, things start flowing. But sometimes it's like, man, like, I need to do this, but like, I don't feel like doing it today, or like maybe tomorrow and stuff. And that's a really tough place to be. It's I think that's the hardest part, just like getting started towards being in a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first started this, I started really reading about depression, and I talked to a couple of friends and some other people, that dealt with some extreme bouts of depression. Like one friend was like, he became an alcoholic. I couldn't even believe it, and he was like, yeah, man, I was just really fucking depressed. So I started reading about it, and everything is a chore. But it's funny because, well, it's ironic because the chores, once you complete them, will start to release your depression, and the chore might be you fucking hate your job and you feel like you never did anything with your life. So it's like, okay, well, look at what you want to do with your life. Start following the path, and they're in like their own prison in their mind. So it's interesting. Just, I think it's easier if you can be a positive person to push through things.
Yeah.
Because you're used to not leaving things on your plate to cause you stress.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, the perfect combination is the mindset you approach things with, like being a positive person, and also having that positive circle around you. I think those two are complementary of each other, and I think those two are recipe for success in many situations where you have to overcome something hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We've touched on this a lot, but this is the point in the show where I ask for any guys out there that are going through a rough time, what would you recommend for them to get over it and turn their life around?
Well, I would break it down into three things. And like the third one, you're going to say I'm super biased, but I really think it has a positive impact. So the first one is, it starts with you. Like, you can't expect a miracle of like, boom, magically things will be fine. Like, it has to start with you wanting to be in a better place, and you really being proactive towards, I don't deserve to live with like these negative thoughts and all these negative vibes. How about we start with one positive thought? And like, it's like a chain. It's like there's like the chain method where like you have a calendar and you're like, let's say I want to learn like a new coding language or something. It's like, I started Monday, I cross it off. Start Tuesday, cross it off, like a chain. Do the same thing with like your positive thoughts. Like, boom, positive thought. Maybe like write them down in a jar or something and like read them out or something. But start with like a positive impact in your life. That's the first one. The second one, which I've also touched on, it's you'll be surprised. Like people want to listen to you. Like if someone cares about you, they want to listen to you, and they'll take time to listen to you, and they'll take time to give you good advice, and they'll take time to help you because they want to see you do better. And then the third one, which is the one I said, like I'm super biased. I'm a super, super, super strong, super firm believer that martial arts has an insanely positive impact on people. Like I wish I could just like give a chip, put it in someone's head. It's like martial arts is actually not as bad as you think, you know, like people are not gonna become like super violent because I practiced martial arts for so many years. Like that's not the case. It's actually quite the opposite. Like you become way more peaceful, you become way more resistant to things. Like, and I keep bringing up jiu-jitsu, and I wouldn't say hate is the word. Like I don't want to be the person who's like every single thing around my life circles around jiu-jitsu, and like everything I think is about jiu-jitsu, but it has so many positive things in my life, like great impact, that like I just keep pointing towards it. It's, man, like just get busy, do something you like, interact with people, like just, I don't know. It's I think at least that's the trifecta for me. It's like I start my day positive, something's happening, I talk, and then the third I finish my day with jiu-jitsu. So that's like my perfect trifecta. But it may not be the trifecta for someone else, you know, it may be different, but that's also part of their responsibility to find out what helps for them. But knowing that you don't deserve to be suffering, especially suffering in silence, like that's a really tough place to be, you know? Like just take action into knowing that small actions, you're not going to be like sad one day and then the next day you're going to be the happiest person alive. Like it takes time, but just make sure that you stay on top of it. Like do things that make you feel good, like just healthy vibes, you know. I think that's my advice.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother, for doing this. Really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me. Like I'm super happy that I'm here, and like I'm super grateful for your time. Thank you so much.